Hey there, guys. Merry Christmas or something. I don't know. Happy Halloween. How you doing? Oh, this isn't a campaign map. What are we doing here? How y'all doing today? Had a very interesting and creative last week here in H2R. I just opened a can and it splashed all over my hand. Hi, Corbin. It's good to see ya. I do not have a mullet. I do not have a mullet. My hair is thick all around. All around. Okay? My hair is all year round. Oh! Gold Athena spotted. That's one more H2R member I need to mod. So people know you're important. So Gold Athena and I have been very hard at work this past week. Finally taking the time to get like the engineer all set up and going. We've had lots and lots of like tossing of the script back and forth for the engineer, tossing the assets back and forth to work on. And we're nearing a very, very good state. Absolutely cooking. Yeah, and we're blurring the line now between Halo script and like game dev coding. We are engineering a new edition, indeed. Interesting in the leaked Halo 2 weapons or character documents for your mod? Well, we can't use any of it, but we can take inspiration from it. Nothing comes to mind at the moment. But the engineer was among the things they planned for Halo 2, but it didn't make the cut, just like in CE. Nothing of the engineer here, though, is based on the leaked documents. All of this is based on the work I did in CER and the engineer in ODST and Reach. So already public, pre-existing stuff. Absolute cookie. First time catching the stream, I just finished CE Rebalanced and it was amazing. Glad you enjoyed it, Austin. The Blind Wolves and Thornbeast back? Very, very unlikely, it's looking like. But Halo 2 already has a good amount of, like, wildlife anyway. It has the quad wings, it has the fish, it has the cockroaches, seagulls. Okay, do you guys want to see the engineer? Very exciting stuff here. Halo 2 does have dynamic fish AI. Well, not actually. I don't think they react to the player, but they have AI in some form. Let's see the engineer, guys. Ready? Bum ba da bum ba da bum ba da bum. It's exactly what you remember it looking like. Classic engineer design right here. It's purple though. Okay. But no. No. This is my little placeholder helper. Just took a sentinel and colored it purple. You know, closest thing to the engineer to use as a base while we design its AI and everything. But we are gonna have an actual fully custom engineer model. There's nothing, as far as I know, that exists like pre-development. Holy shit, Bungie! This UV. This is a shipped map too. Do you see that, Athena? Damn. It's like that on the other side too. What the fuck? Holy shit. Okay. Anyway, we are gonna get a fully modeled engineer. We have concept art for it in the works at the moment. I don't see any problem with showing that off. It's just like a base that we got so far for the design of the engineer. So I can show you just like the base sort of unarmored thing of what we have here, made by Luna and Fozzie Bear. Let's show you guys what we're starting from, what's a ballpark about what it's gonna look like. I hope neither of them yell at me for showing this. I don't see why they would. Music is quiet. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with showing this. So this is what we are going to start with the engineer. It is we're using the CE body shape as a base for it. And then we're adding on ODST and Reach colors to it, so it's not completely pink. And then we're going to do more with this as well. We're going to add some armor pieces onto it, inspired by ODST's designs. And I'm thinking probably the blue on the engineer is probably going to be self-lit or like glow in the dark and pulse a little bit is what I'm thinking. And then we got art from Luna sort of expounding on this. I'm pretty sure it's from Luna, sort of detailing how the engineer's biology works for like animation reference for Echo to work with. Got like its head turtling inside here, and how the sort of shapes of its head works. These are really cute. How freaking are we gonna have the engineers in campaign? They I think I would put them on the heretic levels. I would introduce them there, except there's not really any. Just happens to not be a good place to really do it. Arbiter, the Arbiter level is much more like about introducing like the overhauled stealth system in Halo 2. And it's really close quarters, a little too close quarters to properly convey and introduce the engineer. Too close quarters and too dense, I might add, along with like, you know, the necessary stealth cover. So Arbiter and Oracle are pretty much a no-go. So I think I'm gonna do some combination of Delta Halo and Regret is where we're gonna introduce them. Depending on how far we get on this stream with the polishing of the engineer, I actually want to start implementing them into into the Regret encounter that I want to introduce them in. So hopefully we can get that far. But yeah, I think we're all everyone on the team was pretty much in agreement that this is their favorite. This is already like our favorite iteration of the engineer design, combining the best of CE's and CE's more like, I don't want to say humanoid body shape, but more like down to earth body shape compared to ODST, which is like extremely alien in its body type, but also integrating a lot of those ODST features and colors as well. So yeah, that's what its base biology is going to look like. This is what it looks like now. Just pretend that it's a big blobby balloon boy. If possible, I would like to find a place in either Outskirts or Metropolis to have a hidden engineer, but this is the thing that I'm glad we implemented it now and not later, because the engineer is like harder and harder to implement into the game the longer we put it off. So I'm glad we started working on it on the mission that I think would be perfect for it, which is Regret. But me and Athena have been working tirelessly this past week to get this thing working in Halo's engine, which took a lot of scripting ingenuity and like creativity. And along with that, I actually thought that I would take the liberty of sort of getting creative with how the engineer even works compared to like ODST and Reach, and sort of rework how the encounters go to be a lot more sort of fun and three-dimensional. Because I honestly don't think the engineer is particularly fun piece of the enemy's roster. Like, they're not particularly fun to go against in either ODST or Reach, honestly. Because the reason why is I think they serve more as like just obstructions to making progress in the encounter than they do as an extra added challenge. Like, they sort of railroad you down taking them out first, otherwise you're not going to have any fun. So that's something I wanted to sort of tackle here. So the idea I came up with was, what if they gave overshields to a bunch of AI, but those overshields do not recharge? Meaning you don't have your progress reset. If you're dealing damage to an enemy, you don't have your progress on them reset every few seconds, which is frustrating. So they give out a one-time overshield to all of the squad that they're overseeing. And then work in some of the gameplay ideas from CER's engineer in emitting explosives when they're blown up, and also emitting popping the shields of every single AI who they applied shields to. Like, so they don't just lose their overshield. All of the AI also get hit by an EMP when the engineer dies, so the regular shields of elites and even jackals get popped when they go down, and grunts and jackals even get stunned after you kill them. So I don't have to make the explosion radius as crazy as CER, because we also have that other sort of reward for going after the engineer. So that was my idea, was sort of toning down the really stiff, rigid, or steep challenge level of the ODST and Reach engineer. So in decreasing the challenge, it allows us to give like make the engineer behave much more interestingly, like actively running away from you as opposed to just like floating and staring at you. And in that way, it also gives us room to open up bigger rewards for killing the engineer. So the shields aren't just gone, but you also get the added effect of pretty much every AI affected by them being vulnerable for several seconds. And I already have all of that laid out here. Gold Athena and I have been working out the sort of math and logistics of how all this works, and I think we came up with something really, really good. Like, the main thing is that shooting the overshielded AI in ODST and Reach is not fun. It's very unfun. I wanted to twist that on its head and actually make shooting overshielded AI fun, because shooting at shielded AI, as long as they're not constantly recharging every few seconds, is actually fun. It's fun to shoot at AI shields and make them pop. So I'm going to show all of that. We have a couple of test encounters already set up here. Friendly engineers are possible. We don't have any solid idea yet. Just trying to get down the basics with how they work with the enemy and the enemies and their introduction. Holy Gamer, that's a weird quirk of Halo 2. The Halo games engines onward. After CE, for fully automatic weapons, they like really reduce the window that you have to hold down the fire button in order to like continuously fire. So it's really hard to single fire a whole lot of weapons in Halo 2 onward. I don't know why they did that, and I would reverse that if I could, but it's like a baked-in thing of how the engine works with this game onward. Like, it's still possible to single fire, but you have to like be really fast clicking the fire button, like really fast, in order to actually single fire. Okay, you guys want to see how it works? Let's go. There we go. Hold on, I better give you a better. This will give you a better idea if I spawn one squad that's not alerted already. Okay, so this is the basic engineer encounter setup here. Got a bunch of AI who are unalerted. Bunch of AI who are unalerted. But then when the alert goes up, the engineer will apply the shields to himself first and then give the shields to all of the other AI in the area. I am Arbiter right now. Hold on, let me change myself to Chief. That'll be a little bit more immersive. Hold on, try that again. So let's alert the AI here. Distribute shields to all of the AI in the area. Get rid of the turrets back here because they're dishing out friendly fire. Okay, so these shields do not recharge. They're only a one-time buff. And so that allows us to actually have fun popping shields of enemies who otherwise wouldn't have them. Like grunts. Even got it working on the jackals here, which was not easy. The elites got their shields friendly fired to death. Got the drone captain here, over shields on top of his normal shields. So when you kill all of the engineer's squad group, he will self-destruct. I don't know if that's currently set up to work here. Yep, there we go. Athena set that up to work. And it explodes. Just like in ODST. We're gonna have it play like a similar sort of animation where it floats up a bit as it's self-destructing. I'm also going to polish the explosion effect there and add a couple more explosives and enlarge their explosion radius too. So let's show you, that's if you kill the all of its allies first. Let's show you if you immediately go for the engineer, what happens. Pops the shield of every AI here. I thought they only detonated because brutes strapped bombs onto them. It's never. I don't know if ODST meant to imply that it's the brutes that came up with that. But either way, I don't care. It's better for gameplay. It's better for gameplay to have the engineers blow up and emit explosives. Let me see that again. The jackal shields didn't actually pop there. Oh, it's because they didn't have overshields applied yet. They don't get popped if they don't have their shields applied first. I should probably, that's a thing I need to look into, actually. There we go. Got the grunts and jackals stunned down there. Actually, I feel like it only makes sense that they wouldn't get stunned if they didn't have overshields applied in the first place, so that's fine. We'll see whether or not that feels right once we actually implement this into the into Regret. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Toa. I don't think the lore implementation there was that the brutes invented it, but that was like specifically to convey in gameplay how it works to the player. Enemy overshields being taken out damage the engineer itself. I don't know why we would do that, to be honest. Nope, we don't have a time estimate on when the mod will come out, because we don't have solid plans for every single thing we want to do on the rest of the missions, so it's impossible to say. It also, the shield popping works for the shield honor guard as well. Well, if he doesn't die first, hold on. Minimum safe distance, please. There we go. Look at this bunny rabbit. Okay, now, that's not all, though. We also have something else here that we've been cooking up. And that is the idea of a second engineer rank. The Engineer Heavy. I'll show you how that works. So this version of the Engineer will be used to give shields to only a few enemies to make for sort of mini-boss encounters. And these guys, these versions of the shield are much, much stronger than the other version. So that can be used to make fun little mini-boss encounters in the campaign. And we colored them like the engineer overshields are colored in ODST. So yeah, I can't wait to like implement these guys into Regret. It's gonna be a really good thing to spice up the mid game. I need to make those detonations way larger and more damaging. Not as much as CER, but still damaging enough. Did you also want to create different hunter ranks so the two blue fine on their own? We have heretic hunters that fire the same kind of projectile that they do in CE, along with a couple of other different gameplay attributes. But in a way, this idea was actually of the Engineer Heavy was actually inspired by the shielded hunters that they had cut, the shielded hunter encounter that they had cut from the sunken chamber area of Regret. So I didn't want to introduce a shielded hunter rank, but I like the idea as sort of a special encounter. So this is kind of the way of bridging that gap and can open up some really fun opportunities later on in the campaign too. New area of Regret you're making? Some expansions. Are you gonna get H3R to top this? I won't. I'm not even gonna try. Halo 2 is a very special case. No other mod that I do is going to come close to this level of scope. If I'm being honest. H3R is gonna much more resemble CER. Probably still much bigger scope than CER, but nowhere near the scope of this, of H2R. But who knows, maybe I'll get super duper inspired and then H3R will take 5 years. So yeah, I also recolored the overshield here to actually match the shield, what you see in the shield meter. It was just white for max overshields, and then red when you got to half health. I also haven't taken a look at the scanning routine that you added yet, Gold Athena, so let's take a look at that as well. Where is your script for that? CS sim scan. Is there a script for that? Yeah, sim scan. Let's take a look at that. There he goes. I wonder what is this gonna look like? Cause on the standard rank of the engineer, because we're not planning on giving them a helmet. So I wonder what we're gonna do about that. That's cute. So ideally, I would like this to not have to use a command script, and instead be a thing that can sort of dynamically work with its firing points whenever it patrols, but this still works. There's nothing wrong with making it a command script. Especially if it's the only way that we can actually have patrolling dialogue in Halo 2. But yeah, great work on that, Athena. And also, big thanks for porting all of the engineer sounds. Hi there, 5-star. Not predominantly, Primus. It's too early to introduce them into the game. It would be nice to place a hidden one somewhere on Metro, though. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna polish up the sort of explosion effects and attributes for the engineer's death explosion. First of which is I want to increase the explosion radius of the shard projectiles, which Gold Athena so graciously set up for me. Gonna make the damage on that. Should the player die if they get caught in the direct explosion of one of these? Maybe the direct explosion. I think I'm probably gonna apply a damage debuff to these explosions like I did in CER, sort of as an anti-frustration measure, but any sort of standard elite rank that gets caught in a direct explosion of this should immediately die, so we'll set that up to like 300. Set that up to be the same damage as the initial death explosion, but with a smaller radius. So we'll go 2 world units on that. Let's make them scream to death if they get killed by this. Well, maybe not by the projectiles. High explosive, make them have its EMP side effect so they pop elite shields if they're close. Give them the ability to stun grunts and jackals. apply overshields to enemies and vehicles. That's something I tried, but it doesn't work. I tried that on the turret guys that I spawned over here, but it doesn't. But that's not a big deal. Like that pop camo guys. Set that to explosion large, and then engineer explosion. Okay, so now I can fine tune the damage of all of the explosions that sort of get emitted here. So let's see how that feels now. Hi, Instinctive Link. Gold Athena gonna lose money gambling. Thank you. Okay, have a good one. How large did I make the explosion radius for that? 2.5 world units. Let me make sure that's not the only... those are the only damage effects being applied here. Also increase the explosion radius of the engineer. The light, that is. We are going to make a custom engineer model. We don't have it yet, but we will. Basically, the entire team is hands on deck. We're working on the engineer now. Something I don't think we've ever really done, having pretty much everybody working on one thing at once. Let's see, is there a way to render... Is there a way to render the radius of an explosion? Debug damage radius. Oh, that wasn't very helpful. Okay, so I also wanted to increase the size of the particles as well. I wish there was like a size modifier you could apply to all particles, just like blanket. Okay, let's increase that by like 50% across the board. Hey. Let's have that smoke start off a tad larger and expand not as fast. I think this is the right smoke. I need to add like some blood and gibs to this as well. Need to add like a blood decal that can land on the ground. I need to make the smoke rotate a bit. I think it needs to have a minimum particle velocity to do that. I think it also depends on its particle physics. Hot smoke puff. Yeah, the hot smoke puff particle physics don't allow for that kind of rotation, so let me change its physics. Smoke explosion. Root stalkers, will they try to bait you into traps? Maybe. Need to get this to rotate. Kind of works. The slugmen? No, they don't look very interesting at all. I would need more like smoke particles for that to work. Start smaller. Like that. There's going to be a lot of engineer abuse on this stream, so I hope you are prepared for that. That smoke cloud actually has like a sort of blood cloud effect, doesn't it? If I make the final color a little brighter, I can come through a little better. Jetpack Grunt's still around? Yeah. They're still here. Have that stick around for a little bit longer. like that. For the smoke, anyway. There's a smoke dirty additive. I increase the size of that a bit. How long does that last? 3.5 to 0.5 seconds. That was fine as it was. I think the burst additive should probably last a little bit longer, or the smoke fiery should last a little bit longer. Or it should be bigger. Engineer buffing a vanilla Halo 2 brute. That would honestly make them more fun to fight, because you get visual feedback, well, better visual feedback than fighting them normally in Halo 2. Some electricity, then purely chemical-based explosion. Maybe for the projectiles. Adding some electricity to it would be better. Need to get the smoke to expand faster, though. Or start larger. Okay. Let me enlarge the first additive. First thing I do when someone makes an explosion effect in the mod is like, okay, but what if bigger? Okay, that's good. What were the particles over here? Smoke fiery small. I need to see what part of the effect these are. Let me change that to bright red, just so I can see. I can barely even see the effects there, but okay. Just leave that. Okay, that's the initial explosion effect. Shouldn't there be the dirty, like... What was this? Yeah, it was a smoke dirty additive. We need to make that... rotate more dynamically. Maybe last a little bit longer, too. Go a little bit farther. Is that emitting from a single direction? Yeah, let me change that to globe instead of sprayer. I don't think so, Forrest. I really want to release the mod all in one go. But who knows? Maybe I'll come across some bad financial straits, and I'll be forced to do that. Sort of like drive some more interest into the mod. Hopefully it doesn't come to that though. Okay. What's the emission angle here? Need to get it to like emit in all directions. There we go. Okay, that's perfect. Now let's do the projectiles explosion effect. RIP to these cubbies, by the way, who are being my volunteers. Projectile. Bomb shard explode. Bomb bowling. Okay, what is its explosion light? Let's have that be larger. Let's have that be like 5 world units. Let's have the initial explosion be light frame rate killer, but not the following ones. Also, let's make the light on this not frame rate killer either. Okay, it already isn't. Follow function cosine. What does that mean in this context? I don't need to wait the script, actually. Just play some. To have the explosion last a little bit longer. I have the frag grenades, it's explosion lens flare. Let's increase the size of the light that's attached to it. Gorilla reskin? This is a Windows theme that I added. It's a Discord theme. Themed after Discord. that helps you spot them. See, our energy sword tag is enabled to pick up the tag test? I don't know why. You're probably not placing down the usable version of the energy sword. I think it has a different tag. It has a different, maybe it has a different tag than the ones enemies wield, but I don't remember. Those are some tiny explosions. Let's size that right the hell up. And then we'll do what Luna said, and I'll add some explosion or some electric arcs to it. Also get it to last a little bit longer too. The up-to-date version? Yeah. Why is that smoke gray? What version of the smoke is this? See how that looks. Whoa, that is gigantic. Need a larger emission radius, maybe? Set it to rotate. That helps a little bit, but not enough particles being emitted. I'm kind of liking how it looks. I think actually I'll tone the amount of these guys down, and then I'll probably instead add another version of the particle, which is the thing that usually complements this, which is smoke fiery small. Or I could use an energy sort of explosion effect. Smoke white sea generic. Yeah, I think this is the one that I sort of want. Or smoke sea generic. Okay, yeah, that was a good addition. Let me make it really big just so I can see it. Trying to see the particle itself. Actually see it. It's not spawning in. Probably because shit fuck. Probably because it needs particle physics. Speaking of which, I need to give particle physics to the fiery smoke here. Explosion and explosion. I can see it. It's just like really, really faint. Did I make it too big so it's not like showing? Fucking why is my mouse control keep getting locked by Sapien? I can't see it. What the fuck? Dude, Why is Sapien? Stop. Keeps making me, like, Control-Alt-Delete. Hold on, I'm gonna reopen Sapien. This is annoying. Why can't I see the particles at all? What the hell? That's the plan, Kai. These are not showing up at all. What is up with this particle? There it is. What the hell? Okay, apparently it's actually a good particle because it blends in really well. Let me disable the fiery smoke just so I can see this on its own. These are like really, really faint and like translucent. There we go, that helps. We enable smoke fiery. am liking how this is coming. You know what? I think I actually want to add that particle to the main explosion effect as well. That one took a while to blow up, damn. Fruit's lack of visual feedbacks? Naturally. Drones are said to have had it out for the engineers and slaughtered one? That'd be like a really esoteric reference and losing out on potentially fun gameplay and having engineers shielding drones instead. What layer is the smoke on? I really like that particle. New areas, the H3R? Not as much as the H2R probably, but yeah. Oh, you know what? This needs like a burst additive on it. That's what I realize. It already has a flare on it. Burst additive. Is it possible the script where an engineer allies sentinels with brutes, and then when killed, sentinels turn? That would be really, really hard to make meaningfully noticeable, because if you kill the engineer, then everybody else is probably already really close to dying anyway. And it's not showing up. There it is. Why is the burst not distributing randomly properly? Okay, it is actually. Where's the light on this effect? Did I move the additive burst? I need to move the additive burst to the front layer. Why can I not see the burst anymore? I'll change this smoke fiery to smoke fiery small. It's a little too detailed looking for how long I need it to stick around. That'll work much better. That is a good explosion. need to change the color of its light a little bit. Actually, I need to change it in the other direction. Hi, Zophie. Good to see ya. We are just bullying a poor engineer today. Sapien's doing that shit again, where it takes control of my mouse input even if I tab out. Love me, the engineer. That's why we're killing it over and over. Immortal the Owl. This particle has some really nice additive effects look to it. Set that to frame rate killer so it actually shows up. That, or I need to decrease its explosion radius so they don't overlap with one another as easily. It's going very well. Yeah, adding the engineer allows us to do the thing Bungie wanted to do, which is having a legendary and an engineer handing out popcorn while the arbiter's being tortured. Where's the light tag? Need to... The light keeps getting sunken into the floor. Now let's add some electricity effects to these. Plasma Bukkake. Let's change the smoke dirty additive here to electric arcs. In fact, probably be better to have that be an event that goes on for like a second after it explodes. Those are some big, crunchy sparks. What is the shape of this particle? I need the version that's long and curved. Where is that? Electric discharge, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Now it's so small I can't see it. There it is. Hey, I like that. That's not working. It's been snowing for anyone else. It's been snowing like crazy the past couple days. Dogs are loving it though. There we go. We showed them self-destructing earlier. It happens when you kill all the guys in their group. What engineer model we're going to use for each door? Showed off the concept art for it earlier. It's going to use the CER, or the CE engineer body type, and then add flourishes from ODST and Reach. Like colors and armor. I need to see how these explosions feel with me actually standing in the world, so I can actually feel the shaking effect coming from them. Wait, why am I adjusting? Why is this the brute shot grenade explosion damage effect here? What the fuck? That is not right. Hold on. Let me discard those tag changes. How did that get opened? It was near the beginning of the stream that we showed the concept art. The detonation here is using the brute shots damage effect. Do we not create a unique damage effect for it? Let me do that now. What did I have the values at? Thought I had God mode on. Should probably make the explosion timing more consistent. Yeah, that concept art was worked on by Echo and Luna. How was I able to jump up here before? Now there's an invisible wall. What the hell? Okay, let me test that on the how that looks on the enemies. Seems good so far. need to have them not bounce nearly as far. Hi, Zero. Being worked on or getting final polishes? Well, the systems are pretty much raring to go, so polishing those up, including the effects, but it still doesn't have a model or animations. Still have yet to put them into the missions that I'll get to. Okay, let me normalize the detonation timer for the bombs. Actually, let me see what I had it as in CER just for like consistency's sake. Just so I have a good starting point. Let's see. Hi, Deadbeat Hero. So I don't want the properties to be exactly the same between the two, because now the engineer emits an EMP on the guys that it gave overshields to, and stuns grunts and gets rid of jackal shields. So we don't need to make it nearly as extreme. I set the timer to 1 to 4 seconds. I think it... Does it use the lower bound if it bounces first, or... I have the detonation timer start immediately. Okay, so it's not based on if it bounces first. Although... Actually, I think having it bounce first is hard-coded into CE's engine, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think a grenade can detonate until it's bounced. Or, no, wait. I'm not sure, actually, how that works in CE. Let me try just replicating the properties. Anyhow, just to see how it feels. Arming time is 0 seconds. Maximum range is 10 units, 10 world units. Physics. Air gravity scale is 1.5. What about the speed at which they are expelled? I think that's probably controlled by the initial explosion. I wonder if I could circumvent that, the initial explosion, making them have too high of a speed if I only spawn the grenades in a little short bit after the initial explosion has gone off. I don't know if this is effective, if this block is getting used at all. Let me check if this is getting used at all first. Yeah, it is, but it's barely noticeable. iNeo, hello, you United Engines of America. Let me try this. Duplicate this block. Disable the grenades from spawning in here. Okay, and then delete everything that isn't the shards expelling here, including the particle effects. Okay, and then we'll have this delay 0.1 seconds after the initial explosion goes off, so hopefully they won't be getting affected by the initial explosion acceleration. Current plan after H2R is complete. Revisit CER, apply some polish, and then go to H3R. Yeah, I think that helps to have them not get affected by the instant acceleration of the initial. Okay, so let's rework the timing on the explosions for the bombs. And then also, I need to get these to, like, not lose their friction when they bounce, or not have a huge amount of friction applied to them. So they continue bouncing up and down. OG Halo devs commented on any of the rebalances so far? Yeah, the level designer and artist for Regret commented on the teaser I did for the honor guards at the end of Delta Halo. So that was a big honor. I think his name, I don't remember what his name was. But yeah, he worked on Regret and did the art for that. And I think he also worked on Regret in H2A as well. He remastered his own mission, which is probably why it's one of the best looking levels in the game if you compare it to vanilla, like in terms of faithfulness to vanilla. No, it wasn't Paul Russell. that's what I wanted. I want it to slow down its parallel friction when it hits the ground. So it doesn't, like... It keeps bouncing vertically, but it doesn't go too far horizontally. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I wanted. Perfect. So I want the bombs to sort of stay nearby. So I think what I might do is I will spawn 2 more of them and then make the explosion radius a little bit smaller. That's beautiful. I think the explosion radius itself is actually fine, though. Should probably lose a little bit of perpendicular friction so it doesn't go bouncing super, super high up. Oh yeah, totally, Kai. It's gonna be totally transformed. Let's have its explosion radius be the same size as this one, but it has a lower max damage, or minimum damage. A smaller EMP radius too. Yeah, totally 9.8. We showed concept art of the engineer that we have in progress earlier. Why am I over here now? So violent. Okay, let's make it emit 2 more. Two more that stay relatively close to it. That elite should have died. more extensive changes to H3R and reach rebalance? Not a chance. No mod that I make is going to come close to H2R. Just because, by virtue of every other game being a more complete game, that capitalizes on its potential way better. Let me actually decrease the radius that AI will try to dodge it a little bit. Okay, that timing is actually consistent with CER now, which I like. And I didn't even think I would. I love it. Okay, let's test this on the B squad down here. Just gotta get the engineer to come a little bit closer. Why did you not die properly? Why are you not dying? Because something going wrong with the heavy engineer. I need to get rid of all this redundant stuff. Why is the major version of the engineer not exploding? What's going on with you? Why do you think you're special? It's making engineer noises. It's so uncanny. Why are you exploding, but the other one? Why are you not exploding? What the? Why does having a different amount of vitality affect it? That doesn't make sense. What? How the hell is that? Why is that working so weirdly? This response is not firing off for some reason. Allied with brutes or elites in the later missions? Predominantly brutes. Unless you can do something special to get one on your side. What is going on with this rank? Like, the damage section is not responding. When it has this amount of health. On the same team, do they give you overshields? Yeah, no point otherwise. Thank you, Deadbeat Hero, for the $10. Can't believe you're really trying to implement this. You're adding like an entire extra game's worth of content to the game. Yeah, pretty much. I imagine I'll be playing this off and on until the day I die. Hope so. What is going on with you? Bruh. Literally never encountered this weirdness. Does the response delay need to have a delay effect, perhaps? No. The response delay isn't even firing off. Checkpoint system fair in the gondola section of Quarantine Zone? Yeah, easily. Okay, well I guess I'll untick cannot die from damage, because I wanted them to sort of float. But we can add a death animation to them. Material effects on those projectiles are kind of overkill. Whatever. Let me revisit the explosion effect here so I can make some of the particles smaller. There we go. Okay, I'm liking how that's looking. Okay. That is good for the explosion effects and damage. Love my chaos. Let me make it emit a blood decal if I can. Or like emits blood gibs. Projects like this that remind me why I fell in love with Halo. Aww. Hey, Dibby Hero, thank you for the 20 bucks. I understand you're in a workflow, but can you say why you started modding Halo? Do you intend to make your own game someday? Either way, I'm grateful you're making this. Halo 2 was my childhood. I started with Halo 2 back in the assembly days because I just wanted to make Legendary a little bit more fair to play just for myself. And that just sort of grew, the scope of that grew more and more over time as I learned more and more about Halo. And then eventually I wanted to share it. And that was really successful, so I kept doing it, kept learning more, kept expanding the scope, and the rest is history. And a lot of what I've learned here can certainly be applied to learning how to be a real game dev, especially like with all the stuff I've learned how to do with the Halo script. And trying to understand the experience and philosophy of all the people who worked on the game. Thank you again. Decals, blood splats, blood splat. Does the engineer's blood glow? Does anybody know? I'm pretty sure it like looks the same as the grunt, but it's just like more blue. Why isn't H3R functional anymore? Because updates broke it, and the mod tool, we didn't have the mod tools back then, so we didn't have we weren't equipped to have them survive updates. Let's see, the way it works in CE is the particles that emit from them are the ones that splat blood on the ground, but I don't think it works that way in Halo 2. Thank you, luminescent blue-purple. So I think I can make that happen. I can make it emit blood particles that that when they impact the ground, they will leave decals. Pretty sure that's possible. Let's see. I'll have to make my own particle for that. Particles, solids, blood clumps. Let me get an approximation of what I want. That'll work. Blood trails. That'll probably work even better. Let me make a copy of that. Blood trails engineer. Color that blue. Okay, let's see if we can see that. Ah, look at that. Okay, now I need to give it proper physics. Oh, what we got? What we got?
My rafflecopter goes SOI 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 SOI.
Chief, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. And thank you for using Streamlabs. Because YouTube does not take a cut if you use that. Appreciate it, dude. We have a $5. What? There's a blood spray particle effect, or particle physics here, but I don't think that's what I'm looking for. Oh, it might be. I'll size them down in a second. Hey, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Swah, 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 swah. Oof. Love it. Ooh. Yeah, boy. Glorious. Glorious, even. Let's actually make them a reasonable size. Reddish pink before OD? What do you mean before ODST? In the novel? Oh, they have sound effects too when they impact the ground. Okay, I need to give them proper particle physics though. Let's go probably stones. That's what I want. Enforcer to H3R like Resurrection Revamp did. It would have to be a good place for it, and I don't think Halo, the last level as it exists right now, is really suitable. So violent. I need to have a certain amount of them, like, that just goes straight down. Probably want to make that use the gravity marker. There we go. They already emit sound effects when they hit the ground, so I just have to see if I can attach a decal to that. There is a collision effect, and a death effect. Let's see, dies and media at rest. Structure collision, okay. Where is it sound reference? Where is it sound referenced? I can't find a reference to a sound tag here. How does that work? I hear the blood. Where's the blood being referenced? Is it because... Is there like a material being specified here that it's not showing in this mode? Hold on. Open it in this mode. It might specify like a liquid material. Huh, I don't know where it's pulling the sound from. What do they do other than explode? They give shields to their allies. I don't know. It's odd. Anyway, we can just add a death effect to the blood. Let's see. We just take one of the, like the grunts, like. That would be a material effect. Like the grunts material effect, impact, bullet slow. Or wait, no, what would that be? Materials, objects, characters, grunt, material effects. No, it has to be a projectile material effect. Impact, bullet, small, soft organic flesh grunt. There we go. Copy this. Bring it over here. Engineer blood splat. Oops. I'm mindful. What am I gonna do to fix all the boring floating platform rides throughout the game? Make them not boring. Make them fun. Make stuff happen. Make them more fair. And in some cases, make them not take as long. Okay. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, baby, that's what I want to see. Even emits particles that bounce up and down. Alright. Thank you, James, for the $2. What the heck is that animation there? I'm doing great, Mindful. Also, hello, lol. Alright, let's add an engineer's blood splat. See if I can recolor this. Should be able to. And enlarge it. Temp engineer a few hours ago? Oh yeah, I saw that. I didn't pull it yet. Pull that later. Woohoo! Baby. Baby. That's what I like to see. Yep, Pink Sentinel being our little helper standing in for the engineer. It's just like, it's very reminiscent of the absurdly huge blood splats in CER. Very nostalgic. Whoa, don't spawn that many. Yes, you will, Kai. Oh damn, I wasn't looking at those particles so they didn't spawn. I need to make them... Need to make those particles be cinematic then. So they spawn even if you're not looking. Hi to the moon. Also, let's increase the size of those scorch decals as well. Banshee bomb char. What is the thing used for decals here? Forward. Okay, I'll have one for gravity and one for forward, because I think you need both in order to have decals show up on walls. Might need to be closer to the ground. Also, let me give the shards here bigger decal too. I could have just manually resized it, actually. I just realized. Hey, probably not the Banshee Bomb jar, because that has a green glow that comes with it. Just use the grenade jar. Have it, its size just be normal. Thanks, Stark. That really means a lot. Okay. Now back to the blood. Let's increase the size of the blood particles. Oh, I love that. So I think I need to set these particles to not be lit by light maps so they actually glow consistently like the decals do. So let me set that. Does not receive light map lighting. There we go, now they properly glow. Alright, now need to go to their splat death effect. And I need to increase the size and change the color of these to match. Thanks for joining, Ultra Beast. See you later. That's beautiful. Woo, baby, I like that. I'm becoming a psychopath today. Nice. Okay, let me actually spawn double the amount of decals, but size them down a little bit. That is so gory. Nice. Ooh. Yeah. I don't know what sound that was, but happy. Happy sound. I need to have a similar sort of effect for when the Juggernaut has its explosion death. If you manage to do that much damage. Random hiccup. Why did he die in one hit? When his shields broke. Something's going wrong with the script there. Looks like its health isn't getting counted properly. Is that happening with anybody else? Recommend any musical artists? I'm not a big music connoisseur, so I can't really say specifically. It's only happening for the engineer. Let's see, doesn't only happen in the script. Why is that happening? A Spartan added this. Or I mean Athena did. You see, setting that to 0 fixes that. the health calculation, the script is setting its vitality to like super low for some reason. Why is that happening only to the engineer and no one else, though? It's because of something I did in the engineer's model tag. Ugh. What is going wrong with the engineer's vitality over here? Is that affecting anybody else? Doesn't seem like it. I don't understand. It has its vitality set to like 1. It's set to the correct number. Wait, now what? Why is the shield working then? The health still wasn't. It's having its health reset to 0 at some point, or to 1. The health script is working properly, but because it's returning the right value, that's not sticking on the engineer. The only thing I can think of is it's only affecting the engineer. The only thing I can think of is it's something in the model tag. Really? Maybe I should set a different damage section to be its indirect damage section. Okay. I think that worked. Let me see if the other guy over here is still working. Okay, you're still working, that's good. Youch! I think I can actually decrease the damage on that a little bit. I love it. CER magic is back. I need to give it its own material effects that has its own uniquely colored blood splats, but that'll be it for tonight, folks. This guy's gonna go straight on to regret, and to, he's gonna think I'm gonna put one in the sunken chamber encounter. Yeah, this is exciting! This is gonna be a very, very useful tool for keeping encounters fresh in the back half of Halo 2. Thank you to everybody who super chatted, by the way. And special thanks to the Streamlab Dono as well. Keep this mod pumping along. Go over to my Patreon and pledge any amount you like. It is necessary to keep me going, so be very grateful. But I'll see you guys next Saturday. Good night.